Oh.
What's
This was captured on the Ring doorbell of Jessica Gerald on a 2014 morning around 3 a.m. It is the only shot that we have of the man who broke into her home. For context, this is a small town right outside of Omaha, Nebraska. Like, bad things don't happen here, or so everyone thought. Unprovoked and completely without motive, the man was seen on camera around 3, and then he uses a glass scoring tool where he very quietly makes a hole in the window and then enters through the living room. So the following morning, Jessica Gerald, she doesn't go into work, so her family is contacted and they go to her home, where she is found without her head or her tongue. Media investigation was launched where the footage was eventually recovered. The man seen here had also posed her body without the head sitting up at her kitchen table.
This story is called The Old Lady. So in Colombia, there's this apartment complex and there was a security guard. He was guarding the lobby. Out of nowhere, the other security guards check like the security cameras and all that, and they see the security camera in the lobby with the security guard there. And all of a sudden they see the guy just moving his hands like this, just talking to somebody. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, what's this guy doing? He's literally just moving his hands, acting weird. So they radio him. They're like, hey bro, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm helping this old lady out. She's talking to her. And they're like, what? And they're like, I'm helping this old lady. You don't see her? And they're like, dude, there's nobody there. They started saying it over and over, like, there's nobody there, there's nobody there. And the guy started freaking out, and he pushes the button of the elevator, and that fool fucking dips. Like, he leaves.
Captured in 2008 by Daniel Young, this is one of the only pieces of evidence that this encounter actually happened. So Daniel was a custodian at Myrtle Elementary School, where he worked the night shift. It's a pretty routine night. He's just listening to music when he's suddenly interrupted by the sound of a woman's laughter. He turned around and was terrified when he saw an unknown woman smiling from behind the corner. This was a locked school on after hours, so clearly she was an adult who broke in, so he tried to snap a picture to identify her and then chases after her. But when he turned the corner, she had already darted out of an emergency exit. Later that night, police are called to a home where they arrive at a tragedy. An unknown woman had broken into a nearby home where she knifed 2 parents, one who was the principal of this school, so brutally they were unrecognizable. One of the daughters who witnessed this woman before she got away described her as this person. Could this photo be of the same unknown woman? And what her connection is to the school and the principal, we don't know.
We need to talk about what happened to Sally Stitch. Sally was a girl from a small village in the middle of the mountains. People described her as shy and awkward, and there was one group of kids who would always bully her. One day as Sally was walking home, the bullies found her and started throwing rocks at her. But then Sally did something that shocked them. She pointed at one of the bullies and said, "You will die in 3 days." At first they thought this must be a joke, but 3 days later that boy started unexpectedly throwing up blood. The doctors couldn't find out what caused it, and he passed away exactly when Sally predicted. Soon everyone knew about Sally's ability, and it really scared them. So a group of villagers lured Sally into an abandoned mine. And once no one could see her or hear her scream, they tied her to a chair and took out a sewing needle. They stitched Sally's lips together so she could never foretell another death. Then they left her in the mine and sealed the door closed. It's said that since Sally passed away alone in the dark and unable to scream, she now haunts anyone who knows what really happened to her. And once you hear her story, you have to pass it on to someone else.
You're scaring me.
Hold on. Did you see the blanket?
Right.
It's coming, it's coming. Oh my god! No, wait. It passed us.
up without them noticing, leaving a gap for the actress to crawl out and scare the
Okay. I thought, oh my god! Sorry.
These tourists in China probably thought that walking on this glass
Did you push that?
I did not push that.
Seriously.
I'm going.
You've asked for a chat and they're asking you to chat to them.
Yeah, but look, it's come up with chat. I'm not going to sit here. Everything's thrown at me. If you're there, please say